Well, I got a weird question asked today. It wasn't so weird because I've done it by myself, but basically the guy was saying, how do you propagate tobacco seeds? And I said, well, just throw them in the soil. What's the problem? And he says, well, I'm supposed to put them on layers of tissue paper, wet tissue paper. And I said, yeah, what's that? That's going to germinate but the seed and make the little sprout come out the end, but then you've got to transfer it, and you run the risk, if you use your fingers or even something as tiny as tweezers, if your pressure on your fingers isn't exact, you're going to crush the seed or snap the little loop that comes out the end. And as you know, say this is a mustard seed, a tobacco seed would be about that big. So if we make the tobacco seed bigger, there's going to be two sides to it. And then usually a little area in here. I can't remember what you call it. And then once it's in the soil, so say this is the soil here, it's just under the soil, it's going to push a root out and it's going to find where gravity is and it's going to go like this. And that there is called the loop of Henley. So that's the loop of Henley there. Then what's going to happen is this seed here is going to twist up like this. And these are going to become your first two leaves. So this side and this side here are going to flip up and then they're going to separate and become the first two leaves. If you accidentally do this, where you germinate a seed on some tissue paper, and then it comes out like this, and then you go picking it up, what happens if you planted it like that? Well, now this poor little guy either has to go like this or that. And this poor little plant is going to get very confused trying to flip up like that. If you spread it on paper, and he said between layers of tissue paper, which is a bad idea. Because how do you get it out? And I said, so what do you do after that? And he says, I throw the tissue paper in the soil. Okay, so you've got tissue paper here, and you've got tissue paper there, and then you've got soil here, and he's cultivating it on top of paper. The loop of Henley is going to go down, then it's going to try and flip, and now it's stuck under paper. So this here, now that it's stuck under the paper, is going to rot. So it's all to do with don't use layers of paper, put the seed in the ground, say that's the soil, put it in the ground, and let it find its own way down, so that it can flip up like that. That's all you got to do. Don't mess with it. Put it in the ground. Don't bury it way, way, way deep down here, because by the time this loop of Henley's flipped up, it's still under the ground. And now it's going to try and find its way up. So just stick it just under the ground here so that the loop of Henley can go down, flip the leaves up. Pretty simple.